Okay, so you guys are following along after this kidnapped dwarf. There's been signs of the demi-bird, and what's you picking is a scout dragon newt following along beside. Um, the tracks are sort of gone for a wee way, and you're keeping good time. You'd think that you're actually catching up. Um, well, I'll just go past it. You're pretty sure that you're catching up um, over the course of a day, and there has been no signs of him footprints or of him walking. So you're picking that he's on Birdback. So we broke with you guys. I think you had the camp for the evening. First question. Oh yeah. So mobility. So the dwarf has been casting mobility on everyone. Sorry, haste. The sorcery spell, so that you guys can make good time. So he can cast that again today if you guys are sort of are keen to actually do so. It didn't feel any different than sort of when other magic is cast on you, but it is foreign magic and something that you guys are not really au fait with and not particularly comfortable with. But having said that, you were running as fast as the wind effectively. You guys have never been any faster. In fact, it's even faster than what you would generally travel, Saren, when you cast your mobility spell. So, Yargenvar, are you happy enough to have haste cast on you again today?
I do not mind.
Do you not mind? Okay. So, I'll Silver Tongue this time brings everyone together and casts the spell in one go, rather than in two separate goes like he did the previous day. He says that he can make it even faster today if you guys are keen, but it will have an effect that you will lose an extra fatigue point. He doesn't say this in game mechanics, but effectively what it'll mean is that you guys lose an extra fatigue point every hour, so that if anything does happen, you will be starting to suffer from fatigue probably by the end of the day.
He's asking this generally to everyone or just the
Yeah,
humans?
he said. So he looks at everyone and says, I can cast this even more powerful if you want, but the problem is that you end up being a little bit tired as the day goes on." He said, "It's all good if we're just getting from A to B, but uh, I'm not sure if we want to be running into some dragon newts and not being in the best of form."
Yeah, Umgar and Gort agree with that latter reasoning.
So you just want to stay at your fast speed, not the super fast speed.
I
Okay. So he sort of goes off and spends about a minute or so mumbling to himself and sort of making sure that everyone stays in a circle around him to do it. And you guys are a bit more aware now of him and his magic and what he's doing, and you see him. There's definitely like a almost like a ripple, a ball of sort of blurry light in and around his hands, and then he reaches out and touches all of you sort of one after the other in the space of a couple of seconds, just sort of touches you, and you can feel the difference of the haste spells actually starting to take over. He says, "Tonight, this will last into tonight if you just want to continue into at least sort of a couple of hours into the night. I can cast some light if we need to, but if not, at least it's still there." But he said it will need to be recast in the morning again if we're actually still going.
How much longer do you expect us to be traveling for?
Well, he says, "Well, I've got no idea how much closer we've got. Um, you guys are the ones that are used to sort of running along behind these interesting creatures, or at least in behind creatures. You and your friend there, how far do you think that we've actually come compared to them?"
I mean, we're not the ones that walk on legs like yours, even if the magic does help rather much.
So basically, like humans travel at 3 meters per strike rank. Dwarves travel at 2 meters per strike rank, and your average horse travels at about 10 meters per strike rank. But a horse in general will only sort of, unless it's being pushed, will only generally travel half as much to maybe twice again from what a human can do, just at the same ambling speed. But they can travel 3 times the distance if sort of on good ground and being able to be pushed. So the demi-birds tend to be running at about the same sort of speed as a horse, but it's not being pushed hard from what you can see. So you're probably a day behind them, maybe a little bit more, because you're covering twice the distance at the moment.
Fair enough.
A day behind them at this speed, or a day behind them with the fastness on?
You're pretty sure that you guys started off about 2 days behind them, and you reckon that you're about a day behind them at the moment. So if you don't catch up with them within this day, then there's a fairly good chance you will get them sort of sometime early on the next day. But that'll make a big difference. So if you can do a track roll for me, please. Saren or Yagenvar, or both.
Okay, I'll try.
Nope. That's a no-go.
Okay, so about mid-morning, you guys have sort of been able to follow along quite easily, and then you get to a point where there's a bit of hard ground, there's a lot more rock, you're just struggling to find any clear tracks. This demi-bird's pretty big, so it's been leaving fairly clear marks up until now.
Is it just the one?
Just up until now, all you've seen is the signs of one demi-bird and a scout. You had, when they got to the camp situation, you find tracks of a larger dragon newt there as well, and you can see a large, heavy mark that's been sort of thrown on the ground and basically tossed down like a sack. Not really moved that much, but then sort of has been picked up and moved. That was from the earlier day. But now you've got to a point where you're just not sure where the tracks go. So the general direction has been somewhere in around that sort of southeast bearing from where you are. If you look around, you can't see anything overly much. It's a combination of broken and rough ground at the present, with a few trees, not big foresty areas. It's relatively rocky and barren in comparison, but there still is sort of smaller cover in that that you can actually find. Okay, so you spend about 5 minutes looking around, and you cannot find any clear tracks anymore.
Well, damn.
Looks like we've lost the track. Is there anything you dwarves can do to help at all?
Up until now, sort of, they've never admitted it, but no, we're sort of not even really sure what it is that you've been following. We've wondered if you had been sniffing the earth.
Bugger. Is there a Dragon Newt road that do we know that we're on?
You're not far off. Yeah, you're not far off one. You know that. Actually, can I get a world law roll, please, out of everyone?
A what roll?
A world law.
Just missed.
Hey.
Sweet.
So, Yagenvar, you know from your studies and sort of exactly of what Saren was talking about. So from up in the was it northeast down to the through Dragon's Eye down to the southwest, there is a big track that the dragon newts are known to follow along, and it runs pretty much a straight line right the way across. Okay, and you think that if you continued on in the direction you're going, that within a number of hours to sort of the rest of the day, you would be back on to this Dragon Newt Road. So they've people see the Dragon Newts walking this trekking along in groups along that path, and it's something that you've got no idea what the hell they do it for, but it is seen on regular occasions.
Okay.
Oh, that's all we've got to go on, unless I'm missing something. So I suggest we head in that general direction and see if we can pick the tracks up again.
You guys all good with that?
I mean, sure.
Tootling off. You're still going to keep looking for tracks, Saren?
Yep, for sure. Tracks and scanning the horizon to see whether there's anything that we can see off in the distance.
Yeah. So you continue for another couple of hours, and then if you give me a search roll, please. Okay. So from mid-morning, you'd lost the tracks. As you guys are covering the distance, you're basically scouting around out ahead, sort of fanning across, looking for what is around. And after a while, you sort of go, I think I've got it. I found Demibird tracks. And you followed along for a little bit further, and then you actually see that, yes, there's just a single Demibird with what looks to be the smaller scout running along beside. You're fairly confident that you've actually found the tracks again. The thought does go through your head that the tracks just seem to be changing direction slightly. They've sort of almost cut back to an angle that would be perpendicular to meet the road. So you think that they can't be too far now off where the road is.
This guy suggests we get a bit of a wriggle on. What time of day is it?
Midday now.
Can Dragon Newt see in the dark?
You have no idea.
No, I have. That's exactly spot on.
Would we have an idea with the world lore?
No. Do you pass on that information, Saren?
What, that I don't know whether they can see in the dark?
Well, just the fact that the angle's changing, and that, yes, you can clearly see where they're going.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll explain what I'm doing as I'm going along, and what I think they're doing.
Okay. Silvertongue sort of pipes up and says, I don't mean to be problematic, but if they're heading towards the road, and the road is where Dragon Newts are regularly seen, does that mean we're going to run into more of them?
Quite probably. And also, we're not necessarily going to know, unless we catch up with them at the road or before the road, we're not going to know which way they turn.
This could be a problem.
It certainly can. Are we still mobility?
Yes.
Can we double mobility?
So while you were away, the conversation in the morning was that he could cast it faster, but you guys would be starting to suffer extra fatigue every hour, and so that if you ran into something, you could be at a minus.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, other than being at a loss, I suggest we just make great haste and try and catch up with them. And we can't even cut across, really, because we don't know which way they're going to head.
Yeah. Barreling along, and about 2 PM, you find signs of a camp from, you're pretty sure it was the previous night before. Very simple camp, just set up. There's only really the only real sort of telltale elements to it are the fact that you've gone from just Demibird and Scout tracks to there's some bigger footprints walking around, and obviously signs where the dwarf has been dumped on the ground again. Can I get a search roll, please, from Saren, and can I get one from Yaganvar? In fact, actually, from everyone, please.
Got nothing for you.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, go.
Okay, you find signs of blood. Good.
There's blood here.
You're looking around. You see the where everyone was, and then you see signs of blood, and it heads off away from the direction. Yeah, that's as much as you can tell.
There's a blood trail going in this direction.
And it just looks like normal red blood.
You have a look at it and sort of, well, it seems blood, yeah. It doesn't seem to be anything sort of particularly weird. It's a dark stain on the ground. Can you notice that the drops are relatively spread, which either suggests that something was moving at speed or was a larger unit. So do you want to give me a track roll? Just having a look around just to see what information you can find.
Nah, nothing. CSI has failed me. Cool.
Okay, so
What do we think? Do we think this is your friend or somebody else that's joined the party that's a bit worse for wear?
Well, I have not the slightest.
Me either.
So that was.
There's one way to find out for certain.
I'll just give you this bit of information before you do any more. So you guys have come in, say, on a 20 degrees off north bearing. So coming down basically 200 degrees on the compass. This track, this track has sort of shot off basically on a 90-degree tangent to that, heading in a westernish route. There is a lot of disturbance in and around the campsite itself. You're not 100% certain of sort of what it is because it's very mixed up and your rolls were so bad. Looking at it though, it's not like the previous campsite where everything was relatively simple, clear and orderly, where the scout had sort of obviously run around and looked after the other dragon ute. There's a lot of footprints in and out, and potentially looks like there's a horde of prints coming in from one side off to the southeast that may have caused whatever it was to run away. Yeah, basically where you are, you can't read any prints directly in and around the campsite just because it's too cluttered. So if you want to look for anything else, you've got to search a little bit wider.
I'm surmising that they've been attacked, maybe. Could be those lunars causing mischief.
I think we've come to the same conclusion as far as what happened.
Well, maybe we should just, if we get a move on, especially if it's getting towards the end of the night, we could. I was going to say we could attempt to travel through the night to continue to catch up with them. I hope we get to them before the Dragon Ute Road.
If they reach the road, I don't think we're ever going to catch up. Although, Jagdmar's cracked his jaw a bit. Can those road transport other people than dragon utes the way they do? I'm not really sure what's going to happen when they do reach that.
Yeah, Silvertongue looks at you and says, I've got no idea myself either. So what ran that way?
I see if I can find any track specific to the group that have moved off from the camp.
Okay, so you go scouring around the outside of the camp, looking, tasting a bit of ground and sniffing and sort of
licking trees,
finding a bit of back guano and licking it just to see how old it is. Yep. Okay. So give me a search roll and a track roll.
Nice.
Bang.
Okay.
Special.
Yep,
the
and I'll
search
give
roll.
that a bonus to the track just to So that was a track. Yeah. And Yagamar, can you give me a search as well? Cool.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys are looking around looking for the different prints. Yagenvar is off to, say, the southwest of the camp. He sort of yells, "Hey, I've got tracks here. Um, I can see two dragon newts walking off to the southwest." At about the same time, Tostin sort of yells out, "Oh, I've got tracks here too. They look a bit different, but they're heading off to the southeast, and I'm fucking sure there's a big heavy dwarf in amongst them."
Fantastic. Yargavar, do those tracks look dragon newtish as well, or are they different species?
He can't tell you on the tracks. He just found the prints themselves, but couldn't necessarily follow the tracks enough. Or he definitely recognises the scout track.
Well, I suggest we bowl on to the keep following the dwarf track. I suggest.
Okay, so your special was on your search roll, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. You pick up some funny little pellets. They're made of a little metal. They've got like pointy bits on the outside.
Similar to what Silvertongue was dropping.
No, like these here. You're looking at them and you're trying to work it out, but they seem to be relatively small units. But there's a group of them just dropped on the ground. Looks probably by accident.
And they're metal.
And it's a metal that you're not overly familiar with. But can you give me a roll, just an int roll?
Yep. I'll also show it to the dwarves and say, have you seen this kind of metal before? Don't know it at all. And if I did, I've completely forgotten because that was a shitty roll.
Yeah. Can you give me a mineral lore roll, please, Gort?
Yes. I was just looking to see if there was a specific metal lore, so I was checking Umgar's, but I'm glad to hear it's a mineral lore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
You rolled, pretty averagely. Look at it and you hiss. It's lead. Those are Those are bulgs.
Is that the name of the dwarf who's captured?
No, those are troll coins.
Oh, okay.
And they're sometimes used as ammunition.
Oh no. Now I fear the worst.
Trolls, lunars, dragging newts. What the?
So,
this is getting better and better.
Just to be clear, where Torpass found the troll coin was with the group that the dwarf was obviously with?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So not lunars, trolls.
You have a good search around and you can see prints heading to the southeast again, but trollish. At the moment, that's the best that you can say is trollish. There's a group of, like, you can't really work out how many were in the group because it's all over top of each other. The only thing that you can tell for any certainty is that this big heavy dwarf has been pushed along and has sort of fallen a couple of times and been dragged up. Yeah, you can't sort of glean any more information at the moment.
So Umgar is going to say something to Gort in Dwarvish, and then Gort's going to suggest we need to follow that trail and with due haste. We need to follow this quickly.
Okay, so looking, do you guys want to actually inspect the tracks anymore or have a look around the campsite?
I myself am a bit panicked, so I'm just wanting to rush.
I'll give it a brief scan, but yeah, I think we'd be better off just ploughing forward.
Okay. So, Yagenvar, can I get a int times 5 roll, please?
For me?
Yep.
Okay. That is
Okay.
a success.
Check out the brains on Brad.
So that's an in times 2, isn't it, for you?
That's just times 2.
Yep, 36 is times 2. Yep. So
Oh, yeah.
okay. Yagavar sort of has looked at what Tostin's pointed out and sort of compared. Sorry,
Saren.
yes, Saren, get the right bloody character. Okay, you realise, Yagavar, that the 2 dragon newts are actually walking now on the tracks that you were looking at. So you're surmising that the blood that was heading off in the other direction was more than likely a demibird, and that the 2 dragon newts are now on foot.
Could it be possible that they got attacked by trolls that were just wanted to eat something?
Very possible.
Could we?
Jorgenvar points that out, points over at, the blood trails, and he goes, I believe that these dragonutes met their match in something of a troll huntsman or 3, and that the trolls made off with their bird. Like, there's no remains of the bird, is there?
Nope.
Not even feathers?
Trolls eat feathers. They eat anything.
No, nothing that's sort of specifically looking. There's no big pile of feathers where something's been plucked or anything.
And was the blood going off in the same direction as what we're assuming are the trolls, or it was off in its own direction?
Went off in the other direction, almost opposite direction initially, but you haven't sort of looked to see where it ended up.
But we think that the dwarf is still with the 2 dragon newts on foot now, though.
No, he's with the party that you the tracks that you found, Saren.
Yep. So Yagavar was following the dragon newt tracks. You were following the other tracks. They've split off in basically like a 90-degree separation.
So just to be clear, are there 3 directions that the tracks go off? The trolls, for want of a better word, the 2 dragon newts on foot, and then the separate blooded demibird.
And after having had a look around, there was definitely something following the demibird.
Well, I'm wondering whether if the dwarf was on the demibird, is it worth checking that out first to see if it's killed?
No, you definitely found signs of the big heavy dwarf having hit the ground on the tracks that were with the troll party.
Oh, with the troll party. Well, that we definitely don't want to attack at night time. Unless they did attack at night and now they're holed up somewhere. I'm assuming that we know that trolls are darkness, night animals, beasts, whatever.
Nocturnal.
Yeah, well, given that you were at a campsite, there's a fairly good chance that they were attacked during the night.
Yeah.
So from a little bit more studying around, sort of Yagavar being the brains of the party, sort of looks and says, looks like they're attacked. The demibird was sort of hit and has taken off, and it looks like there's a number of somethings have gone and followed off after the demibird. And the tracks from the dragon newts heading southwest seem to be a little bit fresher. They were made, say, early in the morning, whereas the tracks going off to the southeast that you'd found definitely seem to have been just that little bit older, so probably were made during the night.
Fair enough.
So are we in agreement that we assume that the trolls again have taken the dwarf, or we should head off that way? See if we can catch them unawares before it gets dark.
Aye.
Okay. So again, with Yagavar being the brains of the party, he's like, okay, we're probably about 12 hours behind the trolls. So, there is a good chance that they are not that far ahead of us. As you said, we really don't want to sort of meet up with them at night. What are we going to do to just keep an eye out scouting-wise?
Well, do we want to scout forward and see if we can identify them in the daytime, at least so we can pinpoint them? Brains?
Okay. So, anything, nothing else that you guys want to do here before you head off?
Nothing that I can think of.
Cool. Okay, can I get a party order, please?
Yeah, oh God. What are we doing it from? Top being front?
Ping where I am at the moment. We're going to be heading to the right of the page. So whoever's in front, sort of over there, and then the rest of the party going back towards the left.
I'll take the lead.
Okay, Yagavar, whereabouts would you like to be? Exactly where you are?
I don't really mind. And also, you're not messing around with the map, are you? Because if so, then I can't see it. Yeah, no, that seems about right.
Cool. So you beetle off about an hour in. Can I get a track roll, please?
Oh, fuck.
Fumble. Oof.
I found a dragon.
I mean, we're walking on a dragon's back right now.
Saren, it's not a good idea to be looking for tracks and scuffing your feet along at the same time.
Yeah.
Or, I found some tracks. Let's go around this tree. Seems to be following me. Round and round.
It's a good thing that Yagavar's there just to tell you that you are right.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you sort of get to an area a little bit rocky, a little bit, what's the word? Not the easiest place to actually track on. You have seen signs clearly of the dwarf being dragged along, pushed. Interesting that there is no drag marks of the dwarf. When he hits the ground, he just hits the ground. The tracks have all been tuned up. It's really has been just about impossible to differentiate any given thing other than the actual dwarf hitting the ground. And then all of a sudden there is nothing. You've just lost, not quite sure what to do. So your options are basically double back a bit and try and sort of pick up the tracks from that point again, but there's a chance that you guys have just sort of killed them as well. Yeah. Continue in the same direction or look for another means to go and explore.
Dragonute roads are fairly powerful magical. Like they're those standing stones that they just travel along bit by bit, zipping along. Yes.
Pretty close to that. Yep. I can't remember the detail.
Is it at all possible for me to have my innate second sight pick anything of that nature up while we move along? Are there any magical currents that just kind of flow from one place to another that could make it slightly easier for me to figure out just what's going on here?
It's a very confusing sort of. You feel as you sort of approach towards the road a bit more magic, but you haven't actually got to the road yet. But you think that you can't be too far off. From the second sight point of view, there's a lot of stuff around. Like it's definitely a more heightened magical. I can't think of the words to describe it, but you definitely find like there's not a lot of spirits congregated, but you definitely feel and can see bits and pieces that suggest that it is definitely a more magically charged area. Probably the only other way around it would be to discorporate and go and have a look that way, but then you're not quite sure what that's going to be like on the other side.
Could I maybe try speaking to one of the spirits that I can see? They might know directions. There's nothing stopping me from asking them.
You can have a crack. I'm just trying to think what would be the most location.
I know they're not generally the most lucid or sensible sorts, but I can try.
Most of the stuff that you can see is generally tied to the landscape features at the moment. So it's more like the odd plant spirit or, a couple of, say, animal spirits that are there. There's nothing that's particularly smart that you can see at the moment, but probably the easiest way to do it. Yeah, you'd have to probably discorporate at the moment. Do you have the visibility spell?
No, and also discorporating without casting the spell takes an hour, and I don't want to take an hour.
Basically, you commune, is how I'll describe it, and you can't find a lot of detail from the more like the animal type spirits. After a while, though, you do sort of find a landscape. Keep thinking of a naiad, but a rock spirit effectively is the easiest way to describe it. That says that dark creatures went this way recently. That's about the best that you can get.
I guess I'll just vaguely gesture to that way and go that way, give or take. He tries to have good eyes, but it's hard.
It's taken a while to sort of find this, so it's all you can say is that you're heading in the same general direction that you were originally sort of moving in. Like you've probably walked a good sort of half a kilometre or more just trying to find out the information, and you would say that you're still generally heading in that sort of southeasterly direction.
That sounds good. It's the only lead we've got to go on.
Okay, so by now you're well into mid-afternoon. After a while, again, roll search and track.
Okay. Ooh. Oh,
Oh,
no.
for fuck's sake. 2 in
Rolling
a
for
row.
search. Yes. Rolling for track. Okay, that's not as good. But I got my search roll, so there's that.
Well, hopefully that's the fumbles out of my system for the evening, because that's not good.
The dwarf is actually doing a better job tracking than Saren.
Yep.
So,
I
summing
got
that
my
up.
search, but I failed the track.
Okay, so the people that have found succeeded in search rolls, that's Gort.
I got a special.
Jagenvar's got a special. Okay.
I
Search.
succeeded
Okay,
in search,
so
but fumbled with 100
for the track. Okay.
track.
So everyone that succeeded in a search roll has found a few bulbs, has found a bit of off-cast bones, etc. Yeah, it's like someone's been eating food as they've travelled and sort of just thrown bits and pieces away. The special success.
Got bits and pieces
Yeah.
of dwarf.
The special success, there's a you find a mark on a rock that is clearly like a dwarf has crashed into it, and he's used his iron armor to gouge a mark on the rock to try and sort of say this is the way he's been.
Clever.
Yeah, and it's definite signs. You can see this dwarf is obviously being pushed hard, because it's every so often, all of a sudden there's a big clunk where he's hit the ground. You're not sure if that's actually done on purpose or the fact that they're pushing him so hard. Okay, did anyone actually succeed in a track roll?
Nope, just a search.
Okay, so again, you're not 100% in the southeasterly direction, but you're generally heading in that direction. And off we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone collecting the bulbs?
I mean, how many are there? Because you need a lot of bulbs before they become worth anything.
Yeah. So far, you've collected about 22 bulbs.
Yeah, see, that's pretty much what I'm talking about, mate. You couldn't buy a fucking pastry with that. It's... You know what? Sure.
I've got a bow, and this is RuneQuest 3 fatigue. They're quite heavy, aren't
Bulbs is like 160 or something to the encumbrance.
If someone else wants to collect them, you can do so, but Jargonvar isn't very strong, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, and none of the dwarves are interested in them.
Surely lead is a valuable metal, surely.
Fucking troll metal. Silvertongue just sort of wrinkles his nose and says, fucking troll metal. Jargonvar, your magic points are back. I just had a look at the screen. Is it still showing that you've now only got 12 magic points? Okay, so this is now sort of getting to mid to late afternoon, and you sort of keep heading off down. Again, we'll sort of give it another hour or so, and can we have both a search roll and a track roll, please?
Again, search and track? Sure.
Yep.
Yay! Track. I got a track, man. Someone succeeded on a track. Well, stop the fucking presses.
they?
Okay, and Saren succeeds on a search, but failed on the track. Okay.
For a change. Didn't fumble, though. Yay.
Yeah. You guys find signs of a troll campsite. Jargonvar, you're looking at the campsite and where people have settled down, and you think, for trolls, these aren't the biggest footprints.
I mean, trollkin are a thing.
Yeah. But like, you put your foot down on the ground next to one of these footprints, and it's probably 2/3 of your size.
So smaller.
Yep, smaller.
Yeah, yeah. I as part of my history, I had a very a formative experience with a trollkin as a boy, and have a very keen interest in the elder races. So, would I can I make some kind of roll to see if it rings a
you
bell?
guys are looking around. You can see signs of food, waste, etc., that's been sort of left around. The dwarf is being pushed into the corner. Jargonvar is the one that sort of has succeeded in the track roll and sort of points out the detail. But the more you guys look at it, you realise that there is no big footprints. There's nothing there that sort of says big hulking units. It tends to be a blur of smaller feet everywhere, and you've struggled to get a number, but you can say that there's easily more than half a dozen, if not closer to a dozen.
Whoa.
I mean, these are trollkin we're talking about. Like, it's day. If we're going to encounter them now, they're just going to scurry off.
So this was, you're picking that this was sort of like about, I'm just trying to think, okay, time-wise. Yeah, so this would have been last night. They've definitely sort of stopped here, had a break, and then headed on again. But you're picking that it would have been probably 8 hours, maybe 10 hours behind. So you've made up a whole half day on where they were before. So yeah, so basically they've had a short break, but it was before the night ended, and they've definitely travelled on a little bit from here. But given the fact that the last sort of 6 to 8 hours has been all in day, you wonder where they've gone to.
Well, Jesus Christ.
based on that information that you just said, just the fact that, as Jaganvar just said, Trollkin don't like to be running around in the day. So sometime sort of within an hour or two from here, they probably found a way to hole up.
And it's getting to early evening now as well.
Yeah, you guys are around sort of 3-4 o'clock.
Should we make camp? And do you want to do your fancy stockade, mud stockade?
I can do that. Is it dusk now?
No, it's still only sort of mid to late afternoon, but as Jaganvar pointed out, Trollkin don't tend to sort of run around in daylight, but as you guys hit nighttime, do you want to be running around where Trollkin can run and see?
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that if we hit them in the daylight, they'd scatter, because then we'd be able to retrieve the dwarf without combat.
We definitely need to get them in the daylight, don't we?
I think it would work to our advantage. Can we discern that we'd be able to catch them in the next couple hours with daylight? Or are they probably still too far ahead for us to be able to catch up?
It's hard to work out. You know that they've probably had this camp during the nighttime and they've continued on afterwards. But it's hard. The problem is it's going to be close.
Okay. So are they traveling at night, camping during the day, while we're traveling during the day and camping at night?
Hard to tell because it's only all happened within like a 24-hour period.
I guess just push on until we decided we're going to camp, unless you guys are wanting to camp here now.
The nearer we get to them, the nearer we're likely to encounter them in the dark, I'd imagine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the underlying the hint. Yep. GM's basically saying one of your characters just sort of twigged to the fact that they don't like being in daylight, but the closer you get to them at night time, the more likely it is that you guys are going to be at the disadvantage.
So we're saying that we camp here, so we're a bit of a distance away from them, and then get up super early and see if we can catch up to them in the daylight tomorrow.
Jaganvar's pretty quick to work out that you guys are definitely making ground on them. But there is still a time lag between them. Yep.
The haste rather helps.
It does, doesn't it? So what's the outcome, guys? Camping or following?
How about we camp and I discorporate to spy on them again, because Jaganvar is not the kind of person to think that Trollkin are about to screw him over as he discorporates.
Yeah, they're likely to have less power, aren't they? I reckon that's a good go.
Okay, so that would suggest that you're wanting to camp as well, because it takes Josh. Oh, there we go. There's the masonry roll. Okay, knock off 5 magic points, Josh, off your total.
What was this for?
The form set, mud, earth, etc., to be able to do the palisade. Cool. Okay, Jaganvar. Let's do your ceremony roll. Just as long as it's not a fumble, it's all good. I'll just you're augmenting it. You're taking your time to prepare and do the stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Nice.
Man, I wish I could fucking mark this for experience, but no.
Yeah.
That raises it by what, 50%, something like that?
Yep, in the rules, it's it definitely sort of makes a difference. It's sort of like talking to yourself, and 3, 2, 1, click. You literally just slip straight out of your body and are off and away onto the spirit plane. You guys see the roiling black cloud, like a little thunderhead, sort of appear above his body when he leaves. It's not as aggressive towards you guys now as it was the first time.
No touchy.
Okay, so you sort of into the spirit plane, and you take a while just to get your bearings. You look around and work out what is, and vaguely southeast, as much as you can tell in here. You do see some funny bits and pieces. So not too far to your south is this ribbon of a bluey green light, and it sort of runs from west to east, east to west, whichever way you want to go, on a slight diagonal from where you are. It's got, it looks interesting. It's sort of like a aurora borealis, just that that neat effect it has running along the line. You see, a few bits and pieces around you, nothing aggressive. You do have a look-see and head off in that sort of southeast direction, having a go. Just give me a scan roll. It's the best skill I can think of to actually use.
Okay.
Okay, you're heading, down and that direction. You're sort of looking around. You haven't seen anything so far. Just roll your power. Just hit a power roll, just so I can see what happens.
Do I roll for current or for?
For you. Yep, you're one. You're one.
Do I roll current power or maximum?
So just roll your power times 5. Yep.
I'm asking if I should roll for the current power or my power now that I have 5 points spent on this corporation.
Oh no, just power. So it's the actual stat, not the magic points.
Anyway, I succeeded on my power roll.
Cool. So you haven't attracted anything to come and big nasty you. You do notice that there is a cluster of light, though. It's a multitude of bodies.
Okay, and multitude means how many?
You can't tell from this distance, but
Can I approach?
You can approach. Okay, as you get there, you see something. Okay, there's a horde of little bodies. You think that there could be as many as 20 in there, but you also notice that there's some more serpentine spirits there as well, including one that is glowing like really, 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 really hot compared to you.
Is it that much stronger?
Oh yeah.
Huh. The little bodies, do they resemble trollkin and also serpentine spirits? That registers as earth related to me. Can I roll for something to recognize what all the snaky spirits might be?
Yeah. So you're not certain if it's serpentine or draconic or just lizard-like or whatever, but one of those spirits is incredibly powerful.
Can I roll something to determine what they might be?
Yep, you can roll your int.
I will do so. Int times how many?
Depending on your success level, I'll tell you how much information.
Okay. It's something.
It reminds you of some of the lizards that your shaman used to sort of park in front of you when he sort of had different animals. So, yeah, you think it's a lizard of some sort. The other bodies...
Likely not draconic.
Nah, definitely not a dragon.
Okay.
It might want to be a dragon, but it's...
Well, yeah. The other bodies?
You notice that the smudgy sort of there's definitely an element of darkness. So in mechanical terms, they seem to be strong in darkness runes. Everyone has a taint of whatever their main rune affiliations, etc., are to a certain degree. But you're pretty sure that these hordes of different ones are mainly.
I mean, if I can sense the darkness rune in what I will presume to be Trollkin, can I also sense what the other runes are in the more powerful sorts?
No, that beast is about the best that you can get off that really, really bright one. You do notice, though, that there is a couple of sort of not more powerful spirits, but a couple of bigger ones. So while you can see the cluster of all these little ones sort of mingling in and around this area, you do notice a couple of ones that are big beasties. So it's a bit like the lizards. You can see that there's a lot of smaller ones, but that big bright one is again a bigger physical being as well. Effectively, what I'm saying is that there's some smaller creatures and then there's some bigger creatures in amongst that mix.
And one that's particularly large and also apparently more powerful than I. That's pretty impressive, man.
Definitely stronger than you. Not horrendously stronger.
Yeah, man, if it's stronger than me, noticeably, it's stronger than any human. At that point, I'm just going, okay, shit's going down.
It reminds you of your master.
Okay, so I have
strength-wise.
I have 17 power, yes?
Yep.
Something registers as stronger as me when it has 5 or more power than I do. And if it has 5 more than me, it's going to have 22. Humans can't have 22. It's not possible.
Not normally, yeah.
It is, well, maybe if the hero quest or some such.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, well, I know enough in the broad sense that even if we're going to ambush these people, there's still, 20 Trollkin plus whatever larger things are amongst them, so that is quite something.
Yeah. You're pretty sure that these guys aren't, like, as much as they're in a cluster, it's not like all jumped on top of one another. But yes, they are spread out and around some sort of grouping, like some sort of encampment. There is a number of them there.
Yeah, no, I figured kind of. Yeah, right. I will return to the group and return to my physical body.
And you're back in the room.
Yay. I will stretch my arms overhead. I will look at the dwarfs and say, you're not going to ask me about voices again now, are you?
Silvertongue smiles at you.
Right, well. I have found a number of trolls, and there are a good few more than we had anticipated. There are 20 or so trollkin there, which in and of itself would, well, I do not fancy something of a battle against such a group. There are also larger things amongst them, though. They seemed lizard-like, absolutely reptilian, and one in particular was very, very powerful. More powerful than any man who's not a powerful hero. They are not some manner of force that you can simply run over without a second thought.
Yeah, that does seem like inordinately a lot.
We have to try.
And it's not.
Can't leave our dwarf with them.
Was the dwarf there?
Yes.
Perhaps the odds will return to our favour in the morning.
You can do so, although I think they will be travelling at night as well. That said, Yargavan says. Given how many there are, we might wish to try negotiating or something else along those lines. Rather than storming in, there are rather many of them. Although, I do admit, I am not entirely certain what they might enjoy having. This is all a bit strange and foreign to me.
Silvertongue spits and says, "Fucking dealing with trolls."
Great. Now we're intermediaries between trolls and dwarves. How did we get ourselves into this?
I just want to know how you would want to defeat a group of trolls numbering 20 and then some when we are with 5, yes.
He sort of looks pointedly at the axe of Umgar.
Yes, there is a dwarf who's a warrior, apparently, that I know. I saved his life. You're still very welcome. Do you fancy yourself defeating 25 trolls?
Well, personally, I don't think I could defeat 25 trolls, but Umgar, he's a different matter. As long as nothing sneaks up and fucking jabs him in the ass. But I would expect, us or you to be sort of looking after his 6. I would be expecting one of you or all of us to be protecting his 6. That's a technical term, 6.
Yes, a very technical term. That is right. Given everything, and given that we have not very much to do while camping, I'm going to look through everyone and say, would you all mind if I summoned some manner of spirit and bound it to me so I could use it in this upcoming fight, because it might be rather useful. Also, hi.
Okay, what do you want to grab?
I'm going to try grabbing one of those passion spirits because you made them sound cool.
Yeah, they are. They're also fucking dangerous.
I'm not going to pretend I can justify this very well, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, they're fucking cool, but they're also really, really dangerous.
Dangerous is fine. Dangerous is fine. Actually, I might just get up early tomorrow and then do it because I'm down 5 power points right. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to do that. I'm going to grab 5 power points from my storage item and then do the summoning.
Okay, so if you summon it, you have to spend magic points to bring it, but then, of course, whatever magic points you spend has reduced what you've got to be able to battle. So your discorporation has meant that your magic points have dropped personally, so then you'd summon it, and then you'd enter the combat to try and control it. Yep.
Can I use 5 of them, please? I have an item where I have stored some magic points. Can I just refill? Yeah, thanks. So assume for now that I'm back up to 17.
You can't. No. So you can't refill you, but what you can do is use those to do the summoning.
Well, I will do that. And also, I have the control passion spirit spell.
Yep.
So
Yep.
does that not? Yeah, right. So
the difference between control and dominate and command is with control you have to enter a spirit combat with them, and once you've beaten them, then you cast the control spell on them, and it only lasts for 5 minutes at a time. So unless you've got a binding enchantment made that you can actually put it into along the way, so you can get it, but every 5 minutes you're going to have to recast the control spell, which will be automatic success once you've done the initial one.
I mean, what if I summon it here and then tell it to move over in yonder direction and possess one of the stronger creatures around?
Yep, you can have a go with that.
Yeah, it's not going to be very useful if it possesses a trollkin, because, waste of time. But there's stronger sorts around that we could benefit from. If it's a fear spirit or God knows what else.
So unless you roll like a critical success or something on the summoning, whatever magic points you put into the summoning will be the limit of the strength of it. So if you put 10 magic points into the summoning, then its maximum power will be 10.
I'm not very experienced with these matters, Seeley. What would you recommend? As in, is there a lower bound where they're just not at all useful?
Well, the problem is, of course, when it goes into the combat, so you can have two problems. For you to control it, you've had to beat it in spirit combat, which has then burnt all of its magic points, which then means that you've controlled it. Hey, cool, I've got it. But then when it goes to try and attack them, it's only got low magic points, so it's not going to be any use to actually do stuff without it having like a day to repower. Yeah, it's one of those things where it almost becomes self-defeating because you've ended up depleting the battery. You send it off; it's got an empty battery. It then fails in its actual attempt to possess someone and do it unless it's a very, very weak.
This is starting to look less and less practical by the minute, you know?
Yeah. It's a catch-22 between the different magic systems. So with sorcery, it's just the spell versus its power, its magic point, and it's then still fully charged and can go off and do whatever you want it to do. So like using it as an instant summon and sort of send it off actually becomes really, really viable. As a shaman, it's usually done sort of more in preparation, do the things you can bring it in, but unless you've already got it, its true name, its ability, it's one that you can sort of call upon, that you've already sort of mastered, then it becomes harder because you're actually killing the battery in the process of trying to use it. At least in a short-term sense.
I'm going to look to Saren and say, would you like to learn a spell, Saren? I can offer that.
I was going to bring up a spell spirit.
I have summon and control spell spirits, so I can do that.
Yep, that's right. And for every, say if it knew Blade Sharp, for every round that you beat it, you learn another point of the spell up to whatever the maximum it knows is.
Do you get to choose? How do you determine what spell it is?
You beat it up and find out.
So it's random. It's random. You don't summon a Blade Sharp spirit.
No, not unless you already know the Blade Sharp. So what happens is over time, a shaman builds up like a database basically, and says, "Oh, I need Blade Sharp, such and such. I'll dial up old Paddy over there and get him to come and do it."
Right, gotcha.
Tell you what. I'll summon a spell spirit. I'll beat it up. Can I have it tell me its name? Is that something I can do?
Once you've beaten it in the spirit combat, the normal practice is the first thing you do is get it to tell you its name, and then go from there. Yep.
Man, I'm going to have a fucking huge note page if this becomes commonplace. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to summon a spell spirit and pray that it has a very useful Blade Sharp spell. Also,
or light.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be Blade Sharp, you know. There's a lot of useful spells around. What I did want to ask, if I know a spell at a certain level, can I teach it at a lower level too?
So you don't particularly teach it. It's the same process as the person dials up. You bring up the spirit and you set it into, say, fight against Saren, and then if for every round that he beats it is the level of spell that he can learn. So he might try to learn Blade Sharp 4, but he may only win 3 rounds of combat and hence only learn 3 points of it.
RuneQuest rules kind of imply that shamans can teach other people spirit magic.
Yep. And that's how they go through the process. But the mechanic is the combat is where they learn it.
I get it. Okay, fair enough. Then, you know what? Let's do it. Jargonvar needs to have something to keep himself occupied during camp.
Yeah. So what do you? So how many magic points you got in your storage thing?
At max, I think it's something like 12 or so. Yeah, 12.
Okay. So if you were to spend, say, 7 or 8, it's got a spell with a good. It's got a good chance of bringing up a decent spell spirit.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for that. Sure.
Okay, so rolling your ceremony skill, and then roll your
I
summon.
shall roll for it. It's not a fumble. Just
No,
about.
so you spend a while sort of waffling out a whole lot of noise and sort of tapping on your drums, etc. And then it didn't seem particularly effective. Just your mind's not in it tonight. Just with what you're doing, you're a little bit put out the fact that you've just run into some sort of lizard-like creature that's actually more powerful than you. Okay, but your summon works, and so yeah, how many magic points were you putting into the summon?
Didn't we decide on 8? That seems
Yep.
about right.
Cool. Okay, so I will roll for a spell spirit. Just give me a second.
And it is Dark Walk.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Dark Walker rune spell.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
You can make it the laugh is though with a rune magic. Once you beat it up, you can actually get it to cast it on you.
So you can get a rune magic spell spirit as well.
Yeah, it's not as simple. Like there's magic spirits, then there's spell spirits, but most spell spirits generally know spirit magic. But there are examples that they use of bringing up rune magic, but they can't teach you it, but it can cast it on you.
That's still pretty useful. I mean, even if it's as simple as finding a healing spirit and then,
Yeah.
well, that's a different matter entirely. But maybe I should invest in summon healing spirits.
Yeah, once you get into that whole sort of, I should invest in this spirit, it gets to be a really long list.
Roll20 doesn't mind if I make a very long list, I think.
No. Okay, so just rolling some magic points here.
Mm-hmm.
When I get back to the right screen, you summon a spirit. It turns up. Okay, and it's an interesting spirit. It's sort of looking at you quizzically, sort of like, it looks like it just got out of the bath. You interrupted it while it was doing other things.
Is it
It gives you an upset and coy look.
Is it a glamour?
I'm going to
Glamour
tell
spirit.
I'm going to tell the spirit in spirit speech. I'm really very terribly sorry, ma'am. I'm still a little new at this, but don't mind me too much.
Okay, so spirit combat. Your magic points are your personal magic points are.
They are now 12 because I just incorporated earlier.
Yep. Okay.
Defensively, they are 16 because I do have a fetch.
That's right.
So,
okay, so just roll, either hit your power roll or roll 1d100.
I will. A 70 or lower is a success for me, yes?
I'm not committing to that at the moment.
8. It has 8. I have 12, so I have 4 higher.
No, you just saw me roll 8, that's all.
I mean, yes. But, okay.
Yep. Okay, I rolled 61. What's your roll?
40.
You rolled 40. Okay, roll the d3.
I shall. Do you want to know how to roll to yourself?
No, I'm just keeping them up. I love throwing them up. Okay. I just rolled 02 on my second roll.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's going to succeed all right. But I think
okay, you succeed as well. Yep.
Am I starting to figure out what kind of spell I'm learning yet? Or does that come later?
No.
3, damn.
Okay, so you've lost 3. It's now lost 3. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. You did work out fairly quickly though that yes, it had 8, and you've got 12, so you're still at that 70%.
Okay. I guess I'm going to keep rolling.
Third roll. Yep.
Man, it's rolling pretty well by now.
Yeah, it's done well.
Yeah.
So it succeeded as well. So I rolled 2 as well, so we're still at exactly the same starting percent.
Hold up. Isn't it at 4 now?
It is, you've done 1 and 3, is that right? 1 and 2.
Yes. 1 and 2, yes. So it would be at 5. Well, I'm at 12.
Oh, no, and you got a 2 as well. So, yep, so you've done 6 points now, and it's done...
I don't think a 28 would have succeeded. Remember, I have a fetch defensively. It's actually pretty hard for it
Oh,
to, like,
yeah. Sorry, yes. I keep forgetting that one.
a two succeeds no matter what. No matter how high I'm getting, a 2 is going to succeed. But
Yep,
with 28, yeah.
you're correct. Keep
Okay,
forgetting about the
so
fetch.
yeah, it's a very nice cloud.
Okay, so hang on. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage. Yep. Okay, so it's down to 3, and I've done the 3 points, so you're down to 9. So it's now you've got an 80% chance, and it's down to only an 05.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And that should be it.
Yep, you got it. Okay, now we go to the fun sheet in Gods of Glorantha. Easiest way to do this is we go to the Ancestor Worship page. Okay, can you give me a percentile roll, please?
Gladly.
In fact, I'm probably going to need a couple. So 94.
Pretty high.
Okay, it knows a single spell. Okay, can you roll again, please, for the percentile?
Consistently high rolls. Whether it's good or not remains to be seen.
90. It knows visibility.
Visibility?
Yep. So it's the spell that... so visibility is a spell that you cast on a spirit to make it basically crossover. It's like throwing flour up into an invisible thing and showing it.
To make it's basically the counter to discorporation.
Yep.
Materialize.
Yeah, materialize, but it also means then that other people can also cast spells, etc. at it. So up until that point, only you with your second sight can see it, but as soon as you cast visibility on it, other people can attack it as well.
Well, I have room, as in I have enough int left that I can just mark visibility on my sheet, so I will do so.
Yep.
I might as well.
Yeah, it's a bloody handy spell, especially for when it comes to ghosts and things like that.
Yeah, or, foreign shamans trying to spy on us.
Yep. Yeah.
I will do that. I have written it down. Can I cast that control spell now to see if I can have it tell me its name?
Yep. So just power times 5.
It got a success once, right, for 3 points.
Yep.
Annoying, because then I only have 9 left.
So, no, so power rather than magic points. So it's still just your 85% chance plus the...
Ew. Then I'm casting that. Well,
Yep.
There you go.
Easily cast. Okay, its name is Farseer. Farseer.
Thank you. I will find a place on my character sheet to start noting down spirits that I know of.
Yep. And at the end of that, you've learnt your visibility spell.
All right, that is very nice. And then from now on, if anyone really wants to learn the spell, they can ask me. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so that's taken all up around 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to get sleep in for the rest of my time because Jorgenvar is pretty tired as well.
He will be after that. He was most mortified, of course, that he was actually damaged.
I'm going to tell him that it's okay. And that I'm very sorry that I interrupted his business and that he can go back to it now if he'd like.
Okay.
Or you can stay and chat if you'd really prefer. I don't mind.
Actually, because you won't call him up till later, because he succeeded against you, he'll get a power gain roll. Okay, so
yes.
So we'll do that now. You just make sure you mark your power, tick your power on your sheet. The spirit itself has, if you roll percentile, anything above. So basically, it's got anything under 65 on the percentile dice, its power will go up.
Right. Nope.
Okay, so it's got power of 8, and it only knows the one spell, visibility, and can you mark it down as being malign? It's not a happy spirit.
8 power, malign. So now I have on my sheet Farseer, spell spirit, visibility, 8 power, malign.
Yep. So generally the spirits, when you summon them, will come in as basically friendly, neutral or malign. Those that have got aggressive spells, malign will automatically seek to attack you. Those that are neutral will tend to react to whatever you do. Those that are friendly will sort of, hey, buddy, what you up to? Woohoo.
Is there a way to figure? Is there a way to grab spirits of a certain nature, or is it mostly trial and error?
Trial and error. It's also handy, of course, to later on when you take on apprentices, or assistants, then of course the sneaky thing is you get them to sort of help contribute points towards the summoning, so that leaves you in a stronger state for doing it. And then there's the whole priestly, and sort of occult way of doing it, is where the divine spells, sort of worship some demon. They mind link, and of course all of their magic points from the people in the mind link are sacrificed in the summoning spell, and then that leaves the priest fully able to function, but can also use all of their magic points, their magic, etc., for doing it. So, like, some of those classic movie scenes where they're all around, the coven is around the summoning brazier, etc., sort of all pouring stuff in. There's actually mechanics for being able to do all that stuff. That's cool. So that's actually something that, if you did on a fairly regular basis, could actually get quite good. But the biggest limit for you is actually the number of magic points you can put into the summoning. So an average magic spirit generally has a 3d6 plus 6 power. So, an average of somewhere around the 17 mark. So if you're putting in less than that, then you're limiting what you can potentially get.
Yeah, I'd need either apprentices or a way better magic point storage item, because, yeah.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah. All right, then. I mean, hold up. Do I need apprentices? Or can I tap Saren here and go, you're not casting any spells tonight, lend me some magic?
Yep, and what you can do is get him, you can train him up to A, be an assistant, and 2, is that he could actually refill your battery himself. So you could be emptying your magic point storage, and then getting him to sort of spend an hour or two sort of recharging it as well.
Well, we'd have to talk about that some other time, but okay, it's good to know that it doesn't really take very much special training or whatever to assist a shaman with some magic.
That's right, yep. And then the advantage, of course, for assistants is you get to learn really cool spells. Yeah.
Well, I now have a way to teach people visibility if need be. All right.
Yep. And what was the other spells you already had?
Man, they're all on the magic page on my sheet if you want to look.
Yep. Just have a quick squiz, because some of them you'll already know.
Mind you, the whole whether or not they're ranged or blah blah blah, Roll20 is a bit annoying about it. It often resets it, so I've given up on that.
Yep.
But assume for now that I know that not all my spells are ranged, and so on and so on.
Yep, so all the enchantments, you basically have to go through a slightly different process for teaching them. But, so effectively you will know a spirit that will teach heal and protection. The smaller 1-point spells, less so. But
I have protection 4, man.
Yep, but you'll probably actually know the spirit's name for that.
Maybe we should figure that out a bit later during the week and not during a session, because we are taking up kind of a lot of time.
No, that's cool. Well, we're back to just you and Josh at the moment. And
that's also fair.
Yeah. So the question is, do you guys want to try and continue with just 2 of you trying to run sort of 5 or 4 characters?
I mean, I don't mind trying to head over towards that encampment and seeing what is up there, but I don't want to enter a combat where someone else's character is going to do the brunt of the fighting, and like it's going to be it's going to be fairly serious if a fight does break out. These are not very real pushovers from what I surmise so far.
Yeah, the dwarvish troll detector. Send him in. Okay, so next morning, you guys get there. You haven't been accosted by anything. That's not an issue. You head on over in the early morning, sort of just before dawn sort of truly breaks, and you guys are looking over. It wasn't actually that far from where you are, probably a couple of hours travel. So you're there just as dawn breaks. And can I get a scan roll, please?
Okay.
You there, Josh?
Yay, scan roll.
Okay, so you definitely see what's going on. You see several Trollkin. Okay, they're at the mouth of a cave.
The next morning, we can see several Trollkin. Okay.
Yep, so you've had to travel, you've spent, basically you guys have got up 3, 4 in the morning, sort of headed on over, got to this place where you're pretty sure that you saw everyone. It wasn't that far away, but when you get there, you can see several Trollkin sort of guarding the entrance to what is a cave.
All right then.
Yep.
Very well.
I was trying to get a picture of a cave that I could actually show Anton, but there was nothing that actually just did what I needed it to do. And my drawing sucks. You can see from your scan roll that they've got a couple of spears, and it looks like they've got slings at their sides as well.
I suppose it makes sense enough that they're hunkering down in a cave.
Yes.
It's not really anything suspicious or whatever.
I'm just trying to get to another sheet. Trying to make it show up what I want it to show, but just what I want to show. Is it switched over, Stefan?
It has, although to me it's all dark. Like just one black box. Oh, wait, no. I can see it now. The lot of us are all the way down there on a hex grid.
Yep. And can you see? So to the right, can you see like a clear spot as well?
To the right.
Yep. So you can
yes,
see where
actually.
you guys are. Yep.
There is a clear spot. Yes. There's only one. It's not actually a portrait. There's something there, but that's all. There are now 2 imageless portraits there.
Yep. Okay. I just had to move them out from where I had them sort of originally standing so that they can be, so you could see them from that angle. Is there anything written underneath them or in around that area?
Nope, nothing.
That's good, because I tried to put stuff onto a GM layer with my notes, and then I thought afterwards, I wonder if the players can see it, and I can't test it, because no matter what I do, it always shows it to me. Okay, and the scale there is 3 meters per hex.
I cast visibility on them, because clearly that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. And so, I'm just trying to think. There is no invisibility except for divine magic in this, but I always thought that was one of the most cool spells. So I think we're the only ones left on server at the minute.
Yeah, I guess my page went out.
Yeah, you just sort of dropped off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
So you can't see anything.
I couldn't. It was all black, but then all of a sudden it just said that I was dropped or something.
I can redo Gort now because he's got a character sheet, an image.
Yeah, I see now. It's just on a white field.
Yeah.
No graphics.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
a rock
something of a
wall.
there's a something mountain cave side thing to the north, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So
Black.
all that shadow that you can see is the edge of like the hill. So I've tried to, rather than sort of putting all of the graphics in on this one, I've tried to just do it by what you guys can see rather than sort of filling in the rest of it. Okay, so two trollkin there. I was about to say two trolls there. You guys have sort of come upon them, had a look. There's the 5 of you there. At the moment, Stefan, you've got back another quarter of the magic points, so you've got 4 more magic points than what you had after you finished your summoning.
Then I should have 14. Okay.
Yep. Okay. The question becomes, what do you want to do? Go and talk to them? Go and introduce yourselves as food?
I mean, I don't fucking speak Dark Tongue, and I don't know anyone who does. The fucking dwarves aren't going to speak Dark Tongue.
Does make it challenging just to get the message across.
I speak crossbow bolt.
Yeah, not particularly well, though.
About a third better than I speak dark tongue.
What's a third of nothing?
That's what I was just about to
33% as I was taking it.
Yeah. A third of nothing is nothing. But yes, the problem is trolls, like some trolls do speak other languages, most notably trade talk.
Some of them do, but not the ones that stand outside of a cave guarding things.
Yeah, and you do know from your experiences, Jagenvar, that not all trolls try to eat everything straight off, but it is a very common theme of trolls.
I mean, okay, but I'm trying to think of what good might come out of moving there, and I'm just drawing blanks.
Are we going to continue on with this without Neil?
Yeah, I'd rather not, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if you guys go down the combat option, it's better if the other two are here because it could get pretty brutal.
Do you have anything very clever planned?
Yeah, I'd prefer not to continue. I was going to say if we are, though, I was definitely just going to build a little rampart for me there to steady my crossbow, and I was just going to start launching bolts at him.
You should just have. You could create a number of parapets for us to hide behind, murder holes.
Yeah, that was definitely my plan. Was to just do that.
You can see the irony of that, eh? Like everywhere this dwarf goes, he just goes and puts up some sort of defensive screen.
It's how the Russians defeated the Mongols. They just kept building palisades.
That's quite cool. Oh, okay, so we'll hold it up there. And we'll sort of negotiate with the trolls offensively in the next session.